couple of patrons. I do have to say, probably one of my least favorite covers of all time is that Disturbed cover of...
Don't say Sound of Silence, because I fucking love that cover.
I hate it so much.
It's widely regarded as one of the worst covers of all time.
Yeah, it's...
I can't help it. I like it.
It's one of the worst songs I've heard in the history of music.
Come Whatever May, 2006, Stone Sour did Wicked Game, which is a fucking incredible cover.
That's a great song, too.
And Corey Taylor singing that, but he doesn't do the scream Corey. He does the Through Glass.
Corey?
Yes, the Through Glass Corey.
Yeah. I saw Stone Sour in concert once open up for... Oh, I think I was seeing Korn again. If it tells you how long ago that was.
Fucking hell.
Korn
headlined for Stone Sour.
Yeah, I have seen Korn live a lot.
There's a band that I fucking loved, and now I don't know if I can go back to them anymore.
Yeah, it's not really. Their new stuff is real bad, and their old stuff sounds old. It's incredible. But his voice, Corey Taylor's voice, was borked, and he had the crowd sing about half of the set list, and it was pretty cool. It was a great show.
Dude who sings like that, though, like fucking, you know, it's hard to put into words, like, because you get some people who feel like they've got the talent naturally, like they give off very little effort when they sing. They seem to do it so effortlessly. Adele is a good example of that.
That was gonna be my example too. I was like, that's who I thought of like, she just sings and like that voice comes out.
Like she is incredibly effortless in everything she does.
She could be like building a house, and that singing and that voice would still come out.
Thanks to my wife for this one. If you ever get the chance, James Corden did Driving with Celebrities. You not a fan of James Corden?
I'm not a fan of James Corden.
He did one with Adele, and they literally spent the whole fucking time just singing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And James Corden's got a bit of a voice on him, so...
Yeah, there's something about James Corden. I know it's in vogue to shit on... who is it? Not Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah. Jimmy Kimmel, who's like always laughing too much at everybody's jokes. I get he's fine. You know, I don't really hate him. There's something about James Corden that it feels too much like he's playing a character on his show.
Oh, does he have a show over here?
Yeah, he has a late night show. Yeah.
Okay,
that's what's so crazy. That Carpool Karaoke is from his show. That like nobody knows about the show, but they know about Carpool Karaoke. Because it's a good idea. Like
you know this whole driving around with celebrities things. Let me just rant on this fact right now. First and foremost. So the whole driving around with celebrities things. Apparently my camera's off center. Did one of the cats get up here?
Probably.
Like the whole driving around with celebrities that started. That was started by. That's even worse. It was started by an actor who was in Red Dwarf, which is an 80s sci-fi TV show.
He is incredible.
The guy who played Crichton.
Oh, okay.
He did the driving around with celebrities thing years ago.
Right.
And then that famous American TV guy, or whatever it was, he started doing like he started doing like coffee with celebrities while driving or whatever, and became big. And literally all the Red Dwarf fans were just like, "Dude, he's taking your shit."
Right.
He's like,
he took your shit, man.
I didn't trademark this. Who gives a shit?
Right.
He has access to different people than me. He's obviously going to be a lot more popular compared to...
It's like the US version.
Yeah. It's America's Got Celebs in Cars kind of thing.
And just like The Office, we're just going to grind it into the fucking dirt.
Yep. English Office was what, 2 seasons? That's it?
8 episodes maybe? Yeah.
It's a fucking joke, but yeah. My wife and chat, I love James.
It's one of those things where like, everybody has someone on TV that they watch and they're like, I don't like him. There's something about him. I don't like him.
Let me tell you all about how I flipped my lid on Jimmy Carr so quick.
Oh wow, yeah.
He when he first came out, he has a very dark sense of humor, which correlates very much with mine. I have a very dark sense of humor too. His is very similar to that, and I absolutely adored it. And then he had like a game show on TV where it was a bunch of comedians making jokes and shit. Really good show. And then somewhere around like season 2 or 3, he developed what's now known as the Jimmy Carr laugh.
Yes.
Which is he makes it sound like a dying hyena when people make jokes.
Yeah.
I literally can't watch anything with him in now. Because when he does that laugh, it kills me.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that laugh. Yeah, thank you. Your wife in chat says, I don't like Tosh. I hate that show. Everyone is like...
Tosh?
He has on Comedy Central, he does this show called Tosh.0. His name is Daniel Tosh.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, and it's basically one of those things where a white dude stands in front of a green screen and they show a bunch of YouTube videos and they go, oh man, look, he's probably dead. Next clip. It sucks. He sucks. He's not funny.
It's You Being Framed.
Yes.
Which... that was a TV show in England in like the 80s and 90s.
Yep.
Which was, do you have camcorder footage? Basically YouTube fail compilations.
Yeah, in America it was America's Funniest Home Videos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, but
nowadays...
Did
your host have a fake hand? Because ours did.
No, it was actually Bob Saget.
Jeremy Beadle was ours.
Interesting. Yeah, it's one of those things like on MTV they have Ridiculousness, which is their version of the like shitty YouTube clip show, and it just there's something about Tosh that feels that like the biggest turnoff for me for a comedian is when they feel insincere. Like even if you're telling bad jokes, but you're really fucking trying, I like you. But if you're like coming up there and like shitting out something you saw on a Reddit thread on Comedy Central, like I can't get behind you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jess, by the way. I've never met anyone else who doesn't like Tosh. Everyone's like, his show's so funny. It's like, nah, man.
Well, the big thing that pisses me off about stuff like that syndicated TV show that takes clips from YouTube is 99% of the time they won't fucking tell the people who uploaded these clips that they've taken them, or they'll take it from a different compilation.
Right.
And then they haven't credited the original authors anyway.
Yep.
So it's just this fucking long chain of fuck you, nothing belongs to anybody anymore.
Yep.
It's like White 4 Exposure is one of my favorite Twitter accounts to follow ever.
I love that.
Because it's just people being babies. It's like, no, I'm sorry, this person spent 40 hours drawing something. You don't get to demand it for free.
Put their fucking Twitter account in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I feel like Tosh should be following me around aggressively trying to make me laugh. Yeah. He'd be the guy at parties that's always like, you got time for a joke? And it's like a 15-minute joke that ends on like a rape punchline. It's just like, man, you suck. What the fuck is wrong with you?
I fucking try hard.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Which, did you see my tweet, by the way? Because I'm really fucking pissed. I was so pissed off with myself this morning. Like, I had a dream last night, which I tweeted about this morning, where I was on the Giant Beast cast.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you. It was a weird promotion to go from this where I don't swear to that where I swear all the fucking time.
It's a real Dan Reichert-esque shooting, stratospheric climb.
Aim for the stars. But I was on the Beast cast with Abby and Vinny.
Great.
Because I've seen that studio so much, like I can picture it in my head, I can see everything that, everything that's going on. And literally, I was talking like backwards and forwards, talking about a bunch of bullshit focused around pizza, so I could make a fucking pizza dad joke, and I don't even remember what the punchline was. Probably something along the lines of "it's so cheesy" or some shit like that.
Right.
Well, it was specifically a pizza dad joke, and literally, the space opened up for me to tell the fucking joke, and I opened my mouth and fucking woke up. I was so fucking pissed off. It's like I blue balled myself on a fucking punchline.
What I thought was going to happen in your dream is the dad joke fucking with Dan Reichert genius Vinny was going to get to the joke before you.
To be honest, that's the funny thing is in the dream I remember thinking, Vinny, don't fucking spoil this punchline.
Next thing you know, Vinny's going to be like, hopefully I won't get sauced before you deliver your cheesy line. You're like, fuck, he one-upped me. Damn it.
Like, because Vinny's the master of that, and literally I remember in the dream while talking with him and Abby, thinking to myself, "Don't you fucking take this from me, Vinny! Don't you take it away from me!"
Don't do this.
And then literally I opened my mouth to say the fucking punchline and woke up. I was so pissed off.
That reminds me of one of my favorite instances of Vinny messing with Dan, where they're asking some question about airplanes or something, and Vinny has Dan on this like 5-minute long thing, convincing him that's called a cockpit because they did trials with chickens in the seat versus anything else, and Dan was not getting it. It just,
I'm not
their
gonna
mechanical
lie.
beak.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about the Beastcast is fucking Vinny winding up Dan, making him believe that something is fucking true when it's clearly
so
not.
Good.
Like they were talking about, like, I think it was licenses to get power tools, and like Dan was talking about like wanting to get a drill or something so he could put the so he could put a fucking shelf up in his apartment, and Vinny was like, "Well, make sure you go get your licenses." It's like, what do you mean? I was like, you got to go take a test.
Right.
And then you've got to get your license so you can own power tools in your house. You have to do that. That's part of New York law.
You can't just go buy it.
And he was like, "What, really? Like, where do I take this test?" And Vinny went on for 20 fucking minutes.
God, so
about
good.
where you've got to go to get these fucking licenses and stuff. And you can hear, just over audio alone, you can hear Abby and you can hear fucking
Alex,
knowing it's bullshit, trying to not crack up,
right,
and joining in with Vinny to persuade Dan. And Dan's just like, "Well, fuck, I've already ordered it now. Where do I have to go to get my fucking licenses?" And all this kind of stuff is just like, how is that man alive in 2018? I just don't know.
I don't like Dan, but I really like Vinny fucking with Dan.
Yeah, to be honest, that's my favorite thing about Dan now, is like when they were in California, it was Jeff fucking with them.
Yep.
And now that he's in New York, it's fucking Vinny, because Vinny is the master of the straight face. I never want to ever sit down and play poker with that man, because he's so good. Small Businessman will return soon, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's always my bummer, is that there are no more Vinny and Jeff in the same room quick looks.
No more ad reads as well.
Yeah, those quick looks would devolve within about 2 minutes.
I'm not gonna lie, I think Abby and Vinny have this chemistry that's fucking undeniable.
That's probably my new favorite combo.
Yeah, I've been watching Abby's 6 Scary Frights.
Yes, those are so good.
Specifically, I'm watching the VR ones. I think we talked about it recently, how you feel so empathetic towards her.
Yes.
It's fucking hilarious.
Vinny changing his voice to have like a demon voice. He's like, "It's behind you, Abby." She's like, "Yeah, Vinny, please."
The one I recently watched where she's got the PSVR headset on already at the start of the video, and he's like, "I'm here with Vinny," and then he doesn't say anything for like 4 minutes, and she starts to freak out. And then it's only when she goes to lift the VR headset off, he's like, "Oh no, I'm here. It's fine."
It's so good. God. Ah, man, Giant Bomb.
I'm not gonna lie, East Coast is kind of where the shit's at these days.
To me, my two favorite groupings are Vinny and Abby on the East Coast. On the West Coast is Jason and Brad. It's like an underrated combo of two people like seriously academically breaking stuff down. I really like it.
Yeah, like I think Jason and Brad are the two brainy people. I think the problem with the West Side, I think, is Jeff's got nobody anymore.
He has Ben.
Ben's pretty good, but I don't think they have the chemistry just as of yet that like Jeff has had. Like, they're getting there. They are developing that chemistry a bit, but I think obviously Jeff had the best chemistry on the planet with Ryan.
Yeah,
like their chemistry will forever like my favorite pairing in video games ever.
Yeah,
but then him and Vinny was the shit.
Yeah.
Like, him and Vinny was so good, and I feel like they haven't really got a good Jeff number 2 on the West Coast.
I feel like Ben is getting really close, especially with their like post-Giant.
I haven't seen any of the post-show stuff.
Yeah, that stuff is where it really, because it's just the two of them. I feel like they get a lot of room to roam.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
I might have to look into it.
Are you ready to kick this thing off?
Yep, an hour later than normal. Yes, I am.
Hey, we recorded something else.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
And I was late.
We're doing business.
Yeah, business.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me, as always, is Moonpier.
Hello there, Governor.
Quick piece of news here. We wrapped up our most recent game club. We talked about Massive Chalice. The sort of unfortunate 1-2 punch of Massive Chalice and Sunless Sea, which is what we're currently talking about in We Rogue Like It. Both of those episodes that are coming out this week are pretty good in interesting ways.
Yes, they are Blues Brothers episodes, shall we say?
Yes. So our very next game club game is going to be Iconoclasts, which is out on PC, Switch, and PS4 and Vita. So we're going to talk about that third weekend of next month. Probably all will be on break, so I guess we'll have to talk about that offline.
It's before the break.
Perfect. So we'll be talking about that third Saturday of next month.
I think the first Saturday of next month is the first, so it's literally just sneaks itself in.
Perfect timing. So that's Iconoclasts, and we'll meet back up about that in a month. With all that out of the way, Moon, what have you been playing this past week? Yes.
What Friday is it? This Friday?
Oh yes, there's a brand new episode of
ODNF on the way.
Old Dog New Flicks.
Yes, this month's movie is Groundhog Day.
Aha.
Oh boy, is it Groundhog Day.
One of my least favorite movies of all time.
I wish you were on the episode.
Okay.
It would have synced nicely. So, yes, Groundhog Day comes out this Friday, and then we've already announced the movie we announced on that episode the movie for December. And then there's some business to talk about with you, which I forgot about until right now, with regards to January's movie. Well, we'll get there when we get there.
Right.
So there's time. Plenty of time on that front.
Plenty of time. And there's plenty of time for you to sign up as a patron, patreon.com/E1M1, the ones are numbers, to get early access to that very episode that we were just talking about for Groundhog Day.
ODNF, Outcasts.
Yep.
I don't even know.
Dynamic soundtrack.
There we go.
A whole bunch of other stuff. And your patronage means that we can cover costs for hosting the show, which is a huge help. So patreon.com/E1M1. I think that's it.
I think that's it, yes.
Okay, let's hit
I'm
up
sure
with...
we'll remember stuff.
Probably in about 5 minutes. No, wait. Let's hit you up with what you've been playing this past week.
Something I forgot to talk about last week, actually, and I said I was going to talk about it pre-show, then forgot, was Rocket League.
Oh.
Yo, Rocket League is still great.
Yep.
I am okay at Rocket League. If you are on the Xbox and you want to play Rocket League, hit me or my wife up. I'm sure we'll be fine playing with people. They've done the whole thing now that they introduced in. I think they may have done it beforehand, but stuff like PUBG has, and I think Dota 2 has it, where it's like a seasonal thing that you buy for X amount of dollars, and then you gain XP to get
Fortnite has
stuff
their
like that.
Battle Pass.
Yeah,
they all have like a 2 or 3 month long pass where you're leveling the pass up.
Yeah, exactly. They have one of them, and to be honest, it seems like it's pretty worth the money considering it's like a $10 pass or something, and it lasts for a while. So my wife has been delving deep into that kind of thing. In an aid to assist with her not playing randos, we played with her, and I think because you get more XP for playing competitive, we jumped into competitive like doubles and triples, and I believe the first thing I said was get ready for your rank to tank.
Yep. Because
you're now playing with me, and I'm not great. So played a little bit of that, and even with the seasonal pass stuff as well, you can still get stuff for free. Like you still get XP towards free stuff in the seasonal pass stuff, but then if any time you feel like buying it, it just immediately bumps you up to where you would be.
Oh, that's good.
Had you bought it from the get-go. So
nice.
It seems like a pretty good deal for the people who are still playing Rocket League, which is a lot of people.
Yes.
And that game is still great. So yeah, Rocket League is fun.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? I played a bit more Into the Breach, and in doing so, I may have to go and watch Pacific Rim at some point this week.
Yes.
We mentioned it last week, but they stole a bit of music. They didn't steal, but let's say they homaged the Pacific Rim music, which might be one of my favorite like musical scores to a movie ever.
So good.
It's so good. And I'm further in that game than I have ever been. I switched down to easy mode.
Yes.
I have now done 3 islands.
Oh.
I'm on the 4th, and I'm determined to hit all 4 before I go for the final boss.
Right.
Despite the fact that apparently it's easier if you do it after 2 islands.
Okay, I didn't know that.
I think you can unlock the final area, I believe, after you've cleared 2 islands. But your points, which don't matter at all, and the difficulty level of that island scales with how many islands you have done. So if you do 2 and then head towards the last boss, it's easier. But if you do 3, it's a little harder, and if you do all 4, it's harder still.
Right.
Probably shouldn't have gone for a 4 island clear up the first time.
But you want those points.
But I'm crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all it comes down to is I'm a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
So...
Crazy for Into the Breach. Hey-o.
Hey-o. I'm still using the standard loadout on that because I'm trying my best to... Because one of the... I don't know how much Into the Breach you actually played.
Oh, a bunch, but I never got... I never finished it. Like, I kept getting a little bit better and a little bit better, but I never got to the point where I finished it and, like, unlocked additional squads or anything.
Yeah, so I'm in the process of trying to go through and play a bunch of the... Like, unlock a bunch of the squads and, you know, see the different skills. Because I've already unlocked 1. And the one I unlocked changed the dynamic of the game so much.
Oh, wow.
Because, like, with the Rift Walkers, which is the starting squad, it's very simple. It's this guy pushes, this guy does a little damage and pushes, and this guy hits as hard as a truck.
Right.
So, like, the second squad I unlocked, all of their abilities are completely different. Like, there's a jet that drops smoke bombs down that do damage when people are in the smoke.
Jeez.
So... It changes everything, and the way he attacks, by the way, is to fly. Is to do not a pawn, like a checkers move where he jumps over the top of somebody, lands behind them, and just stops the smoke on them as
cool.
as he flies over them. So I kind of want to get into that and like unlock a bit more of the different squad options that you have, just to see how much that game changes. Because FTL, like one of the groundbreaking things about that game for me was, I'm just going to start with this other ship and see how things go. And it changes so much about how you play. So I'm looking at getting some more squads in that and seeing how things go. Well, Into the Breach is so good.
Yeah.
Like, so good.
Also came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm trying to play it now.
What weird timing.
Mm-hmm. What's that you say? 3 weeks to go?
Right. TikTok.
Massive Chalice we talked about on Game Club. Sunless Sea we talked about on We Rogue Like It.
Yep.
I played a bit more AC Odyssey. I loaded up. I left the place that has the person who I don't like.
Yes.
I left the Fonzie behind and moved on and went back to continue my progression. I still love that game.
Yeah.
As long as I don't think about that person in that place, I'm fine.
Right. As long as you don't think about the incident.
Yeah. As long as I don't think about the jet ski shark incident, I'm fine. When I think about that, it literally makes my blood boil. It's like, why? Why,
guys?
But the worst thing is I'm doing missions now which are going to lead me back to there because I have an objective there. I need to go out and do other things to get back to there. But I don't even know if this is part of the main story or the additional story, because on your quest screen there's like a box at the top right hand corner which is, it's called your Odyssey box, I think, and it's like, oh, this is your story, you are dealing with these issues. And underneath that there's another box and it's got the deck of 52 kind of thing. And it's like, this is that situation. And now there's a box under that dealing with the guy who jumped the shark.
Oh, wow.
So I don't think that that location and that person has anything to do with the main story.
Right. It's almost like a River Thames, World War I sort of thing.
But that was cool and amazing.
Yes.
This is so
the opposite.
stupid.
This is dumb and not amazing.
It has great implications and amazing things behind it. It's just, It's so stupid.
Yeah.
I honestly, I can't wait till you play this, because I've talked to T-Bomb Rocks, member of the community, about this, and he was okay with this decision,
Right.
this specific thing. I've talked to my wife, and she was not okay. She was in a very much situation to me where it's like, control it down, walk away, let's not think about this for a while.
Right.
I'm very curious to see when you get to that point what you think, because
Yeah.
me and you have a very similar taste in Assassin's Creed, because we like all the dumb stuff, we like the real world stuff.
Yeah.
We like the Isu stuff, which I can't even remember if they called them Isu in previous games.
I don't remember.
Well, that's what the precursors are called in this now. They're referred to as the Isu.
Yeah, I feel like Origins changed some of that stuff, and I'm not up on the lore.
Yeah, I can't remember what happened when I went down into that big valley and lined all the lights up, and then had the 20-minute cutscene.
Not only the 20-minute cutscene, but a lot of like intentionally misleading conversations. Like, what if time wasn't time, but what if it was time for time? And it's like I'm feeling it, but I don't understand it.
Yep. It very much reminds me of the Doctor Who line, you know, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's how they feel right now in Assassin's Creed. I'm fine with that because I love it. I love the fact that I'm being introduced to a precursor in this game who I don't even know if they were in the previous games because I can't keep them straight anymore.
Right. Too many space ladies.
Which space lady was this? Which space lady was this?
Right.
And which space man was this? And so on and so forth.
Yeah, just come out and tell me if you're good or evil. Like, it's going to make everything so much easier.
Yeah, like, which space lady was it who made Desmond do the thing?
Oh, God.
Exactly.
Minerva or something?
And then I can't remember if Minerva is the bad space lady or the good space lady.
And you never finished Black Flag, right?
Nope.
Okay. There's a space lady in that, by the way.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think the only game that I played recently where there wasn't a space lady was Unity.
Yeah, was there one in Syndicate?
The Syndicate one was the Thames London thing.
Oh, okay. Yep. For some reason, I thought that was Unity, but yeah.
No, that Thames thing, that was Syndicate.
Yeah.
I don't think there was a space lady in Unity at all. I'm pretty sure that was just his friends go run around and stab some people.
Yeah.
But Odyssey is so good, and then there's just one hurdle. It's
this one blight.
It's like a virus that's infected my brain, and it's just like, this is a great game. Put up the firewalls around this location and this person.
Right.
Everything else is amazing. Don't look in the box. It's Pandora's...
Maybe that means we're in the Animus Moon. Corruption.
Oh, boy. It's Schrodinger's Assassin's Creed.
Right.
There is something in the box. It can be good or bad, but you can't tell if it's good or bad until it's observed.
If you think about it too much, Assassin's Creed is bad.
Yes. The problem now is I have observed what's in the box, and what's in the box is bad. So now I'm trying to revert myself to a state where I don't know what's in the box anymore.
I have seen it, and I know it's dead.
Yes. But it's Odyssey, and I feel like I'm close to the end, but something tells me I'm still not close to the end.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I'm like 70 hours in at this point.
Oh, wow.
And I haven't touched Red Dead in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got a lot of...
Game of the Year, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, alright.
But yeah, Ace Odyssey, like, you already know if you're going to play it. You've probably already played it or not.
Yep.
Honestly, I kind of just want to sit down with you and like, I want to know... I want you to come on the show, say you've played it, say you've beat it, and tell me what you think about the...
And we just do a spoiler cast.
Yeah, no, I want you to know what you think of Schrodinger's Assassin's Creed, because...
Yeah, we'll do a 10-minute on... Wait, what? What happened? Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My final game this week is I'm embracing my Game Pass... What's it called? I forgot what it's called already. Game Pass?
Yeah, Game Pass.
Okay, yeah, I embraced my Game Passness, and I decided to play Grip. All capital letters.
Oh, yeah, I downloaded that. I haven't started that yet.
Grip! to use its actual name because it's all capitals.
Sorry, if I giggle at something you say, I just have to write it down as a show title.
So Grip is reminiscent of those old arcade racing games, those car combat games where it's like you can go on the ceiling and you can go upside down, and it's cool. It's amazing. I still don't know what it's an homage to because I've forgotten what
I'm
the
looking it
original
up
was.
right now because I keep forgetting.
I figured. So it's really fast paced. It's really, really quick. And I love the car designs in it.
Roll Cage.
There we go.
That was such a good game, man.
So there's so much about this game I love.
Mm-hmm.
It feels so small in scope.
I have seen some footage of this, and it seems very like a very small team put out the game. For positives and negatives, it seems like a small team.
Well, so far there is, I think, in the campaign, because of course you have an experience bar and you have unlocks and all that kind of stuff. Because thank you. What was responsible for that? No, what was responsible for it first? Borderlands, for sticking XP bars where they don't belong.
Yeah. That's probably the biggest example. I'd say maybe one of the Call of Duties where it's like you finish a match and you have 5 or 6 XP bars filling. Battlefield did some of that.
Yeah, they stuck XP bars in multiplayer, which was unheard of at the time, but I think Borderlands is the one responsible for, wait, you can stick XP bars in something other than an RPG?
Right. I'm leveling up my weapons too?
But it's got that whole campaign progress. It has 9 tiers of tournaments.
Wow.
I am up to tier 3 right now. And in each tier, there is minimum of 3 tournaments so far, and each tournament is a minimum of 3 races.
Oh my god. Okay. How many tracks are there?
So I've been to 3 or 4 planets, and it feels like there's like 2 tracks on each planet.
Okay.
There is different game modes, so there's an arena deathmatch that you do against AI. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in there, like regular race, classic race, speed demon, which is literally they disable all the weapons and just give you speed boosts whenever you pick up an item box.
Okay.
So it becomes a case of hold on to your teeth and hope you don't accidentally do a barrel roll.
Right.
Then there's the combat racing. There's everything else. Like there's so much stuff in here. Like different game modes wise, it seems okay. But it feels like there's like 6 tracks.
Yeah.
And when you've got 9 tiers of thing, and so far, I'm up to tier 3, and I do 3, 6, 9 races per tier with a different game mode. It's like, okay, you know, what's next?
We're talking at a minimum of 81 races across all 9 tiers and all the tournaments. And that's not even including like assuming it turns into something like Dirt, where it's like, oh, now you're at, tier 4, and now there's 5 tournaments, and each one has 5 races in it.
Yep. You can't back out of a tournament once you've clicked into it. You'll lose all progress. So when you click go in that tournament, you have to do the 3 races.
Please.
That feels like a mistake.
That feels so punitive because, like, I'm doing other stuff. Like, sometimes I just can't finish 3 races at a time. And I know that's maybe 15, 20 minutes, but there are times where I can't.
And that's even if you want to just finish the races, let alone have to restart the race because you accidentally hit a wall wrong on the last turn and now you're 8th, but you know you can't win the tournament without coming first, so you have to restart the race.
God. Why?
And that's fine. That's your decisions, whatever. Generally speaking, I do like this game. Like the speed is really good. I think the game looks good. I think that's an interesting thing of weapons. The music's not great. It's no Wipeout, shall we say, but I don't think any game will ever be Future Sounds of London good.
Oh god, the soundtrack is so good. Man, all those soundtracks were just
anytime anyone says to me, "Oh, so do you like EDM?" I'm like, "No." And then 2 months later, I'll be like, "Wait, I loved Wipeout though."
Right. Wait, I like Rez. Wait a minute.
Rez has got one of the best soundtracks ever, and Wipeout's got one of the best soundtracks ever.
Do I like electronic music?
Maybe I do.
Yeah.
But I mean, the music's okay. The big flaws for this limit. When I say floor, I don't mean floor ceiling. I mean floor problem.
Yeah.
Just for the record, because there is a lot of floor to ceiling stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So, the biggest flaws. Very, very limited races so far. It does feel like I'm seeing the same thing. The soundtrack, like sound overall, the soundtrack's okay. It needs to be punched up. They need to get someone in from DICE over there to punch up the sound effects in the game, because when you fire 17 missiles at someone and it just goes...
Oh, I want like a... like, turn the bass up. Like.
I have Astros. I'm not using, you know, like tinny stereo headphones. I'm using a pretty solid pair of headphones. The sound just feels a little bit weird.
I shot a rocket. Pew, pew.
Yeah. It's essentially that's how it feels. And the biggest problem I have, I'll be honest, it's twitchy as all kinds of crazy when you get real high speed.
Yeah.
Now, in a way, that's kind of cool because it is an homage back to those old games, like where I don't know, for anyone who's never played an Extreme G or a Wipeout or an F-Zero, if you make one wrong mistake with your controls, you are blown up, you are falling from the ceiling because you're not going fast enough anymore, and you're landing on an old part of the track.
16th place.
That happens in this game too, by the way.
Wow.
And it's weird because it's like, oh, that's kind of a cool throwback, but at the same time, it's like, dude, I'm driving on the ceiling and then someone bumps into me and then I accidentally turn my stick a little too much and then I'm sideways into the wall, dead stopped.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, wait, now I'm falling into the sky. Wait, no, that's not the sky, that's the floor, because I didn't realize I was upside down at the time.
Right.
It has a lot of problems. I didn't pay a penny for this game. This game is actually still seriously fun to play.
Okay.
Because the things that it does wrong can get very frustrating. We mentioned a couple, not being able to restart, you know, slightly twitchy controls at high speeds, very limited music. Guess what? Stick some headphones in, listen to a podcast.
Or like just play for an hour max at a time, and then...
That's pretty much what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Pro tip, get Pandora, get Spotify, get whatever your service of choice is, and listen to the Wipeout soundtrack.
Yeah, pop out that Spotify. Forza Horizon soundtracks are on Spotify, by the by.
There we go. Want to listen to some Greek sailor shanties while you're driving around in Future Town? I think that would go really well.
Yep.
It's still fun. There is still something, and Nintendo have announced the new F-Zero, haven't they? Or are they still dark on it? No, they announced a Metroid. They haven't announced a new F-Zero. Right. I miss driving at 400 mile an hour.
Right.
On a road that you can see is looping into the sky and then twisting and turning through this cityscape. I miss that sensation.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Wipeout is still an incredible game.
Yep.
I don't know how much... I know Sony shut down Studio Liverpool, which was the studio responsible for Wipeout. I know they're just re-releasing all the Wipeout games now and saying, "Oh, look, here's a new Wipeout game."
4K VR, like they're still good, but it's sort of like, yeah, but what if we made more?
What if we made a new one? What if we used the dev tech from today to make new Wipeouts?
Yeah.
And this feels like a solid, earnest attempt by a small studio. So I'm not going to rake them over the coals for the thing being twitchy, because for all I know, that's me picking the wrong car because they have different vehicles. I'm still unlocking cars and figuring out what fits with me.
Right.
There's a car in there, for example, called the Juggernaut, who's really, really quick, but really can't turn that well. I don't like using that car because I don't know if this game has like a drift system that I can use effectively.
Gotcha.
Like, so, for example, Mario Kart, you stick me in the biggest, fattest cart you've got because
give me Bowser.
I don't care if my acceleration is slow. I'm going to get going and then I'm going to power drift around every corner and you ain't going to see me till like the finish line. Like, I know that's what I'm going to do because it's Mario Kart and I know how to play that kind of game. Whereas with this, it has a handbrake that seems to just It's not a Forza handbrake where you tap it and you do back in, going out a little bit now. Yeah, it's not one of them handbrakes. It's a you hit X, you stop.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's one of those type of handbrakes. So I've still got to figure out if tapping the brakes is a good drift system, or if it's like Wipeout where you use those brakes because you need to turn sharp. Like,
yeah, there's a 90-degree turn coming up.
Exactly, which was the only time you ever hit brakes in Wipeout was you need to turn a corner, and it's a 90-degree turn.
God, I love Wipeout.
That's when you hit the brakes, whereas I'm still getting used to this. But it's fun. It's just so much fun to be like, I'm in a cave, and I'm literally driving at a 45-degree angle in this wall at 700 miles an hour or whatever, so it's just going loop, 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 like a corkscrew down this cave.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what? That's fun. And yeah, the game's not the best looking, the game's not the best handling, but at the end of the day, for me, it's always about one thing, is like, Dark Souls is punishing and all kinds of issues with that, but you make an inch of progress and you feel so good.
Right.
Isaac, similar kind of thing. At the end of the day, is you have to look at it in literally a very binary decision is, for you personally, is this game fun?
Right.
And Grip is fun. For me, right now, Grip is very, very fun.
Yeah.
So I'm probably still going to keep playing it. I'm going to like enjoy trying to go for the get 1,000 laps achievement and the eventually figuring out how to unglitch the win one race achievement, because I'm telling you, I've won more than one race so far.
I promise.
Yes. But it's fun. And, you know, it's been a long time since I've been able to say, I love Forza Horizon. I love Burnout Paradise Remastered. These are games that require so much focus at all times.
Yeah.
This is that arcade racer where it's like you pull the trigger, you don't ever let go of that trigger, you just keep going faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's got a very cool mechanic as well, where there's like a green bar that fills up around your throttle that you can do boosts with, like when you don't have an item. So it's a really good, oh, I crashed, let's just accelerate quicker kind of thing.
Oh, good.
Like, it's got a whole bunch of stuff in there. It has a jump button that I haven't utilized fully yet. Which, let me tell you, when you're driving through like a little valley, you're driving through mountains and you get into this crevasse, and then the roof goes whoop, and you just go boing onto the roof. It's really satisfying.
That's pretty cool. I like it.
So, you know, I'm going to keep giving it a shot. Like I said, right now, it's fun. I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
Let's see how things go. But that's the last game I've been playing this week, because games.
Yeah. I played a bit more Destiny 2 because I mentioned last week the season is wrapping up. So sort of all the stars aligned, and I finished the three big objectives I had for this past season. First one is I got my first title, Wayfarer, which is basically you do a little bit of everything on every planet. Some of those are really hard, like gather all the Mars weapons, which was the very last thing I needed to do, which I've been working on for literally 4 months. Some of them were easy, where it's like, go do 5 missions on each of the planets. It's like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah, you've already done that by the time you actually start it.
It's like, as long as, you know, I've been doing it as each planet has been featured as the flashpoint, which is basically, here's the planet you're on this week. So, finished my first title. It's technically called a seal, but everyone calls it titles because now I have the word Wayfarer in purple under my name when I'm walking around in the world.
Nice.
A lot like how World of Warcraft did it when they put titles in. Also, in the kill feed, when you kill someone, it'll show my name, my emblem, and my title at the same time.
Sure.
Yeah, I know. I worked so long for this stuff. It's nice that it is very much a goal, and it is one that not a lot of people are going to get. I don't necessarily like the exclusivity of it, but I do like that when you see someone with that title, it's like, all right, that person put the time in and put the effort in to do this thing. I know they are serious about, you know, this avenue of the game that they're playing.
So this fancy new title that's in purple and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
How much did you pay for it?
Ooh, moon. Well, you know how it's $120, I guess, over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how many hours?
Yeah. No comment, Your Honor. So I got Wayfarer. I also got Redrix's Broadsword, which was the quick play PvP prestige weapon, or pinnacle weapon they're calling him. Basically the one at the very end of the quest chain. So why I got that is I've been doing it a little slowly over this entire season. You had to reset your rank 5 times within one season.
Mm-hmm.
And I reset it probably last Sunday, like right after the show. The common complaint about this weapon is, yo, it's not worth it, don't bother. I would respectfully disagree, because I think this gun is built for me specifically, and probably nobody else. So it is a 3-burst pulse rifle, so every time you pull the trigger, you're shooting 3 bullets. Slow rate of fire, slow reload speed, but it has a perk on it that is exclusive to this weapon called Desperado. There's a skill, a weapon skill in the game called Outlaw, where if you kill an enemy with a headshot, you reload. The reload happens incredibly quickly.
Yeah.
Desperado builds on top of that, where when you reload while Outlaw is active, your reload is nearly instantaneous on this gun, and you fire, I'd say, 5 times faster. So you fire as quickly as you can pull the trigger, as opposed to being this very deliberate thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's stupid powerful. I played it with it a bunch in Gambit, and it is incredibly powerful, but I see why people are complaining about it, because it takes a little bit of setup to get to the point where it gets really good. But if you can chain headshots, you know, if you're really good in PvP, or you're fairly competent in PvE, you can chain those headshots and keep this fast firing mode up pretty consistently. And if you can, your DPS output is pretty great.
So what you're telling me is these are the D2 noobs who are complaining about this. They ain't got their APM down or the right order to get their skills off.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
basically what you're telling me.
Basically, yeah. Like I think I understand if people don't like the weapon. It's weird.
It's just not to their playstyle. It's that simple.
Yeah, and it's not like the 2 big skills right now are Outlaw and Kill Clip. So Outlaw, you know, makes your reloads faster. Kill Clip is when you reload after getting a headshot, your next set of bullets does like triple damage or something like that. So it's very potent. This doesn't have that build on it, so a lot of people just out of hand were like, well, it doesn't have Outlaw Kill Clip, so I'm not using it. It's like, you reset your rank 5 times. Like that's 10,000 PvP points. You get like 20 for winning. So like, you spent a ton of time. At least give the thing a shot.
Yeah.
So I got that, and then a couple days later, I got my second title, which is Dredgen, and that's the Gambit title. And that seems to be.
Did you finish the whole Gambit BS where you need to like win so much and not lose because you lose points?
No, that's competitive PvP. The one where you lose points. That I'm giving up for the season. So Bungie actually said, I'll keep that quest for next season, and it'll be at the step where I just need to get to the rank. I don't have to go through the whole quest step again. So
yeah,
good on them. 2 thumbs up. But Dredgen is the Gambit title, and that required 3 resets. Each reset was 15,000 points, and at the very last rank, you only get points for winning and not for losing, which was terrible. I had to do that 3 times. That one seems to be way more rare, because some of the stuff you need to do. There's ones like all 4 members of your team need to bank 15 motes at the bank at the exact same time. That's one of them, like one of the secret ones. You need to kill all 4 people on the enemy team as you invade. You know, you got to do that a handful of times too. So you got to play a ton of Gambit, and that seems to be more rare, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So those were the 3 big things I wanted to do this season. I got all of them done. I know they're going to be... The season ends on the 27th, and immediately the next season starts. Season of the Forge is the next one. And then the 4th of December is when the first DLC pack of the annual pass starts. So the weird thing about this is Blizzard is being kind of tight-lipped. Sorry. Bungie is being tight-lipped. Blizzard is not. So a bunch of stuff has leaked out about this already, because Destiny 2 on PC is in the Blizzard launcher.
Yeah, so someone probably data mined the hell out of it and found all the information.
Or they just put it on blizzard.net. That's like a news story. So what it looks like is interesting is that and we'll find out on the 4th, or probably the 27th when they release.
You know what this is? This is people are mad about Diablo. What's the other big D franchise we have that we can drop a bunch of news on?
How could we piss off another group of fans?
Yeah.
But what it looks like is actually that, if this is to be believed, they're not going to be doing it like before, where they land one big piece of DLC and it's like, all right, cool, whoops, you're done with it. They're going to be spreading stuff from this DLC pack, it's called Black Armory, over that entire season. So over the next 3 months, slowly stuff will be coming out, maybe every couple weeks, maybe once a month, something like that. So I'm curious to see,
like, something along the lines of, like, here's 3 story missions, then the next week here's another 4 story missions, then the week after here's a strike or 2, and then, like, maybe the last month or whatever, here's the raid, and you've already got all these missions that you can do to get the gear up. So
yeah, stuff like that. Or, like, you know, this month will be 1 or 2 big quests, and next month will be 1 or 2 big quests, but those each give exotic weapons or something like that, because the DLC seems very weapon focused, because it's about the Black Armory and the Forge. The rumor is that there will be a new weapon tier, so I'm assuming that part of that will be, here's a bunch of new quests and you get your first... The rumor is there'll be black weapons as opposed to the exotics. Who knows if that's true or not. But
if they don't do a Borderlands and make them cyan colored, I'm going to be very disappointed.
Yeah, we're still waiting for one of the weapons that yells at you as well, because that would be really great. But I'm interested to see, because their previous DLC model has not worked. Throughout Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, Taken King worked, and Forsaken worked. The 2 big tentpole DLC releases for the 2 games. Everything beyond then was like, all right, I'm going to sit down, and whoops, the DLC's over. 2 hours.
Wasn't this the one with the weird city? Like, was it just too quick, the changes kind of thing? I don't know the name of the DLC, so just whatever the one that's got the Sleepy Dreamer city.
Oh, that's Forsaken. That's this one.
Okay.
Yeah. I think they finally realized that what we as fans want, because not a lot of new people are playing, even though, you know, they got it for free on PSN or Battle.net or whatever.
Yeah, but they got the base game for free.
Yeah, and the great part is you buy Forsaken now and you get the other 2 expansions for free. So, like, $40 is, you get all in for Destiny, which is pretty good. But what we want is we want new stuff regularly. Like, we want, even if it's 1 new chase that's going to take us 3 more weeks, that's fine. I'll log in Tuesday, I'll do my quest, play some other stuff, and keep on moving. So that's my hope for this first part of the season pass. Sorry, annual pass. But I guess we'll find out in a couple weeks. But before then, I'm not going to be playing a lot of Destiny 2, because I played a lot this season, and I got to take a break before the next stuff comes out. Until they probably announce a quest that leads into the DLC, and then I'll play that and play that too much. But
yep,
I know myself.
I know you.
Yeah. I played more Tetris Effect. The big thing that was unveiled is there's like a challenge that's in the weekend in the effect mode, they choose 3 of the individual playlists. Those will be featured. If you play it, each one of those to completion, it adds to the global score. Once you hit 100% in that, everybody gets like a free avatar, and you get some other cool stuff. But the other benefit is when that score is beat, the Skin 1989 mode unlocks.
Yeah, which is
the Game Boy Tetris, with the music and the sound effects and everything, and it's really good.
Minus the fact that they got one of the notes wrong on the music, but yes.
They did, but I mean, they can patch that. That's probably
yeah. I'm curious if that's a copyright thing.
Yeah, I wonder if it is. I wonder if it's a that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not Tetris, we swear.
Yeah, it's not, you know. But I've been playing a lot more Tetris Effect because I'm not good at Tetris. I like Tetris a lot, but I'm not a good Tetris player.
It's me in first-person shooters.
Yeah.
PUBG and that kind of game. It's like, I love playing them, but boy, am I not good at them.
Yeah. So I've been playing... Journey mode is really hard, as in some levels, you'll be playing, it'll be like, you cleared a couple lines, it's now speed 4. You cleared another line, now it's speed 8! And then it's like, oh god, okay. You cleared another couple lines, it's speed 3. It's like, okay. That's forcing me to get better at the game much faster than I would have before, and I think that level of difficulty coupled with the large number of modes in the game means it's not just, you know, here's the story mode, beat it. Oh, you're never going to? Well, have fun not playing Tetris Effect. I can do more stuff to get better at the game, and I think that's what's really clicking with me this time. I tried Master Mode, which is basically the one where the pieces immediately show at the bottom. They have no fall time. I did very poorly at that.
As to be expected.
Yeah, as to be expected. You know, I'll probably never be at that level, but I feel like my skills are getting a little bit better already, which is really great. And if anything, my wife is really enjoying Tetris Effect. So,
just the visuals for it, or she's playing it too, isn't she?
Yeah, she's really good at Tetris. So Tetris Effect is really flexing her Tetris brain, which I think she's finding really great. So even if I don't play a ton of it, she's playing a ton of it, which is really great.
Yeah, it's like puzzle games and stuff like that. When you start realizing that it's been the last time you did lateral thinking was in high school.
Yeah, you're like dusting off your brain. You're like, okay, that was a lot of me playing The Witness, where it's like, oh, okay, wait, okay, I gotta cut out little shapes out of this grid that I made, and I gotta organize them. Okay, all right, okay, yeah. God, The Witness is good. Next game, I downloaded a new, you'll be shocked, a new mobile Match 3 game.
What? No. You've broken the rules. We only have time for one, and there is only one mobile Match 3 game. No WWE Champions, yes. No Final Fantasy, whatever.
That's
which
right.
I'm pretty sure your one is the Final Fantasy one. Wait, what is it? No, is it the SEGA one? Where you have all of the different characters from Sega games.
It is Sega Heroes. I downloaded it because it's free and I wanted to see. It's crazy in a way that I really appreciate. Like, Axe Battler is wandering around with Ai, the monkey, and the pink hedgehog, Amy. That one.
Really? That pink hedgehog.
That's your first party? Is the three of them
red-headed Kinder.
What's that?
The red-headed Kinder? However you want to pronounce it. It's Knuckles. I know who Knuckles is.
I haven't seen him yet. I don't know if he's unlockable. Just wanted to say.
Okay.
One of the things I really appreciate about it is the tutorial was 2 missions. It was, we're going to show you how to fight. We're going to pull another unit and put them in your party. We're going to show you how to fight with them. And then the game literally says, you got it from here. Good luck. I was like, oh, thank God. Because some of these games are like, you got to finish these first 10 missions, and you can't like go to the store, and you can't look at your roster, anything like that.
I'm pretty sure WWE Champions is like a 5-hour tutorial, where they gradually unlock stuff for you. But in they do this thing similar to Strike Force and similar to Galaxy of Heroes, where there are so many systems in there that they deliberately keep you out of a whole bunch of other ones until you've had the experience with the other ones. So,
and I think that's a good thing about Sega Heroes, where it's you're going to go through your missions, and you have the shop, quote unquote, which is where you're going to spend your in-game currency to try to unlock character shards, and you unlock 20 of them, and you unlock your character. It's the standard stuff, but that's really it in the game. And then it's match 3, match 4, and it feels pretty good. When you match 4 icons, it makes a little turns one of the pieces into a star piece. You match that, you do a special move, does extra damage, does extra healing, that sort of stuff.
Here's my question.
Sure.
Are the pieces from columns? Because if they are not, they are making a big mistake.
They sort of look like the pieces from columns.
Good.
Plus, like, some additional ones, because there's this purple bar on the screen that does something that I sort of don't remember because it's not that important yet. There are purple pieces for that, and that's the only real exception. But
that is semi-acceptable that they are kind of like the pieces from columns.
Yeah, the whole game feels very much like a big Sega fan that doesn't work at Sega wanted to make this game. Because it feels like someone who loves Sega properties, which, to be fair, is probably not a lot of people that are working at Sega right now.
No, come on. It's the only people who love Sega properties these days are Sega employees, because that's what it would take to keep working there.
Yeah. But what I think I like about it so far, it's not going to be one of my tentpole games. It's not going to be like Brave Exvius or anything like that. It's not complicated. It's not like WWE. It's not like Marvel Strike Force, where it's like you're panning back and forth on the main menu and there's even more icons. It's nothing like that. You're going to go through.
Speaking of Marvel Strike Force, the biggest criticism I had against it when we first started playing, the lack of saved squads, they put them in.
Hey, all right. I should try that again. I still have it installed. But there's a bunch of be free.
Don't do it.
Yeah. But what I think is really interesting is there's a bunch of other stuff in the game that they say they're clearly working on, like guilds. You click on that tab and it says currently in development. It's like, okay, cool. So we'll have that later. Get to level 7, you'll unlock this thing. Perfect. It's very simple and straightforward, and I like that.
I kind of hope that I'm assuming they have the stupid gotcha thing, like you said. Like there's a character shard thing in there. I'm assuming there's a microtransaction model in there.
There is. You can buy packs and stuff like. So I was enjoying the game, and it popped up with one of those starter packs, like unlock 3 characters for $5, and you get a bunch of other stuff. It's like, all right, I'll toss $5 at you. Game doesn't feel scummy. It feels fun. And I unlocked like the woman with the short skirt from Streets of Rage that wears red.
Okay.
She's one of my characters.
Yeah,
I don't remember what her name is. It popped up with her name, and I was like, oh, I guess that's her name. Okay. I unlocked a Beat from Jet Set Radio. I was like, okay. You're coming to my team. That sounds pretty cool. I unlocked one other person. I don't remember who it was. That white bat from Sonic Heroes, I think? Sonic Adventure?
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about.
Rose or Ruby or something like that?
How is the opening? Is it an animation? Is it a card pack? What is it?
There is a chest opens. You tap on a chest, it opens, and it sort of spits out stuff. Not the best opening animation.
Come on. Everybody knows that these things are, like, if you're going to have microtransaction BS model in your game, animation and stuff like that is key. Let me show you Hearthstone.
Yes.
Best ever opening stuff ever.
Here, I came out with a really great opening, though. I think it should be Green Hill Zone and have the ending sign from a Sonic level. And as you tap on the sign, Sonic spins through it, the sign spins, and then it turns around and says your unit.
I got one better.
Oh, okay.
The capsule dispensers from Shenmue.
Ah, crap, that'd be good too.
And then literally...
I don't like Shenmue.
He turns it, he rolls them out, and Ryu pulls it out and looks at it, and then it pops into whatever it is.
That'd be great. 2 immediately better options, Sega.
Then here's a chest. Come on.
Yeah. Not as cool. Still early in development, maybe. So you know, maybe that's the last thing they did. I don't know. But Sega Heroes so far feels pretty good and doesn't feel scummy.
Which is the key to a good mobile game.
Yeah, I'll stick with it and see how it does. Also, not a ton of character units, but that's to be expected if this thing just launched. You know, there seems to be like maybe 15 of them total, but you know, if you're unlocking them with a shard system, that's probably a bunch to start with.
Yeah, they all start this way. That's the big secret, is they all start with like a little bit of characters. Like, I started playing Galaxy of Heroes when it first came out, and there was like 15, maybe 20 characters in there.
Now there's 4,000.
It didn't have the prequel stuff. It didn't have the Episode 7 stuff. And then all of a sudden, all the old stuff's in there, all the new stuff's in there. And you're like, okay, now there's 5,000 people in this game. Well, Marvel Strike Force just got the mutants. Storm is in there now. Juggernaut's in there now.
Don't tell me this.
Pyro's in there now. There's an event with Magneto coming real soon.
La 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 la. Well, I think for me, that's one of the things that Marvel Strike Force did wrong. Was a lot of the beginning units were like Hydra agent. It's like, I don't want a Hydra agent. I want Wolverine. Like, I don't want this. And the cool part is, you know, in Streets of Rage, you have those Mohawk guys with the yellow like radiation jackets on. Instead of recruiting those, you just fight those in the Streets of Rage level. Great. That's where I want them to appear. Like, that's a promising start. That seems pretty exciting.
That's always good to hear, especially from a mobile game these days.
Yes. And especially from a major publisher, too. A lot of times where they're like, let's just get their money. Come on.
Come on. Sega didn't develop this. Sega...
No, exactly.
Some fan made this, and then Sega were like, okay, here's a check, we'll use it.
Let me fire it up and see if there's a... who made this?
Look at the latest Sonic
Sega?
games. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the best and recent Sonic game made by a fan who Sega just paid to make it?
Yes, Sonic Mania. It's made by Demiurge. So they've made a whole bunch of other mobile games.
Why do I know their name? They didn't do Clash of whatever it is. Not what Might and Magic? Heroes of Might and Magic, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe they did that, yeah. Marvel Puzzle Quest.
There we go.
That would be why.
That's why we know their name.
Yeah, they did Marvel Puzzle Quest, Shoot Many Robots, Green Day Rock Band, worked on the original Borderlands. They made that Mass Effect mobile game, Pinnacle Station. All of the Rock Band additional things. Oh, they made that Word Fu game, which was really good. Titan Quest, America's Army. Like, they've been around forever.
Yeah.
Advent Rising. But my last game this week is Dragon Quest XI. I have a bunch of family in town, so I have a whole bunch of people in my house, which is fine. But I need something really chill and really relaxed to play. So I've been playing a lot of Dragon Quest XI and Sunless Sea, as we talked about in this upcoming episode of We Roguelike It. I was making really good progress until I ran into the thing that stops my progress in every JRPG.
Metal Slimes.
A casino.
Okay.
And, of course,
boy, you must only make it like 2 hours into Final Fantasy VII. You're like, wait, I'm at the...
Gold Saucer, let's do it!
Yep, there we go.
Chocobo
I'm at the
racing.
Gold Saucer. Yeah, because you know when you get done with that, you're in the desert with the cactuars, and nobody wants to do that.
Yeah, that desert part sucks. But the thing about this is, it's really easy to win a bunch of money. And the reward at the top end of it is a really good two-handed sword. So I did a whole bunch of slime slots for a while.
Yeah, when that game first came out, I just seem to remember my Twitter feed being filled with photos of slot machines, and I was just like, what is going on?
What is this game? Yeah. So I did a whole bunch of that. I probably made it about halfway to the point value where I need to get that sword, and then I said, hey, I should probably play the game instead of this slot machine. So I went and did that. So I'll go back to that later, because Laura only knows there's probably a trophy related to it at some point, and I'll just clean that up at the very end of the game. But so I don't gamble in real life. I did that for way too long.
Yep.
But I'm making really good progress in the game. I got a a key. I have, I think, 7 or 8 party members now. 7 party members. I think, based on the loading screen, that seems to be all of them. I'm really trying not to spoil myself on this game. I have a suspicion that someone else will join my party later. So let's say Chrono Trigger style. But I don't really want to look it up and spoil myself. I did get what appears to be the first of 2 magic keys. So one of those is like, hey, now you can open up these red doors around the world. It's like, all right, let's fast travel back to all these places and scoop up some cool stuff.
It's Symphony of Night stuff. Yeah,
so I think I opened up like 10 of those, and I got a main story quest item, which was surprising. I wasn't expecting that. And a whole bunch of super high level gear that I can improve at the what's that for? The fun-sized forge, which is your weapon creation place at your camp.
That's really good name.
Yeah, every item has a really great name. By the way, there are these wizards that are little pigs that have a giant witch hat on them. They are called hat hamwitches. Those are this game is so good. It's so good.
The funny thing is, it's so infantile but so adorable at the same time.
Yeah, it's all very innocent. It's sort of like, you know, this giant floating ghost with bongos. They're called Drongo Bongos. It's like, great. That's a perfect name.
Do you ever just want to shake the screen and yell at your machine that it's 2018?
Exactly.
Time to look at the real world.
Yeah. So the big story mission that I'm going on right now is basically I have to collect 6 things from across the world, and it's really part of what I like about the game is it's really breadcrumb trailing you towards the next thing. You can go do other stuff if you want, but it's very much like you hit the map menu and up the right hand corner it's like, we need to go to blah to go get the blah. And it's like, perfect. Okay, so I can screw around in some other stuff. Now that I have the ship, I can go sail to this place I saw over there. I'll go do that.
Very Ocarina of Time, where it's like, here's a bunch of areas, this is the one you should go to.
Right, and like you can go to all the other ones and you can go do some stuff, but you're always reminded like this is where the next story part is. I already have 5 of those 6 things. I got those very quickly, so I'm assuming that I'm gonna get 6 and go to the place to do the thing, and then something terrible is gonna happen, and I'm probably gonna lose all of them. Again, I haven't spoiled myself, but
Dragon Ball Z Make a Wish with Shenron kind of BS.
It's very similar. It's very similar.
Well, it's the same artist as well, so
yeah, it's Toriyama. So, but yeah, I'm really, 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 really enjoying this game. I think it is the right game at the right time. You know, there are those RPGs that sort of land in your lap. You're like, oh, maybe I'll try this game. And it's like 30 hours later, or 2 weeks later, you're like, I guess I really need a JRPG. Okay.
Yeah. My question for you is this for you? Is this going to be? I mean, sounds like a very Blue Sky game right now.
Yes.
Which we've had a good fill with this year with Yoku's Island Express, which is a very good Blue Sky game. Because you mentioning that needing a specific game at a specific time made me think of Eternal Sonata, which was a Blue Sky game I needed at that time. Right. And then when you look deeper into it, it's the complete opposite of a Blue Sky game.
One of the biggest bummer games. Yeah.
So, like, do you think this is going to be Blue Sky to the end, or is it going to give you the old JRPG swerve?
I suspect it's going to give me the swerve. I suspect what's going to happen is I'm going to collect all these things, and I'm going to go do the thing, and then something terrible happens for, like, the middle third of the game. And then once I get past that, then it'll be Blue Sky again. But so far, I think the thing that's making me feel good is if you've never played a JRPG before, and especially if you've never played a Dragon Quest, this is the one to start on. Before I would have said 5, because 5 is an incredible game. It's one of the best JRPGs of all time, for reasons I can't talk about because it's a giant spoiler. But there's like a sea change that happens in the middle of that game that's incredible. But I feel like that's what's great about 11 is it's pretty easy. There's an alternate mode you can play that makes it much harder. not interested in that right now.
Yeah.
None of the dungeons have really crazy puzzles in them, which is great. The battle system is really straightforward. You know, it's upgrading your equipment and creating stuff is really straightforward. It's all just really fun to play, and it's not... I feel like I haven't made any mistakes yet, which is always the specter that's looming over you with a lot of JRPGs, where it's like, oh, God, you went down the spear tree and not the sword tree? God, you're going to be screwed like 150 hours from now. Dragon Quest VIII. So I feel like there's not really any of that, and there's no missable trophies. So...
Oh, that's good.
Everybody wins. But there's not a lot I can talk about without spoiling stuff at this point, so, you know...
Wait. I'm sorry, I just realized... Did I Platinum Spider-Man this week?
You did it literally an hour after we recorded the show.
Okay.
Because I saw it on your Twitter account. Good call.
Yeah, I forgot all about that. Continue, and then I will...
Oh, I'm actually done.
Okay, then, in that case, so you mentioning trophies literally reminded me of Spider-Man.
Yep.
So yeah, I Platinum Spider-Man. Speaking of games I played this week, get your pen out, write Spider-Man down next to my name.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Spider-Man.
I know we don't usually do things this way, sorry.
No, it's okay. I always have my pen during the first segment.
That's really weird. I have the exact same pen.
These are the best pens, the Uniball Vision.
Yeah, it's somewhere around here. I don't know. I'm not going to make a noise and reach for it. So, yeah, I Platinum Spider-Man. That's how close I was to the end of the game. When
I saw... I sat down after I wrapped up everything here post-production, and I sat down on my very comfy chair, and I pulled up Twitter, and I saw you had finished a game in Platinum. You put the screenshot up, and I was like, incredible. It was literally an hour.
I couldn't even put the screenshot up.
Yeah.
I had to post a photo of the trophy itself because that story goes some places. And I think last week I was talking about being a little bit on the fence in the story.
Yeah. Changed
my mind. That story is incredible.
Okay.
The end of that game makes that story amazing.
Nice.
And I tried to describe this to my friend over in the UK over Twitter. There is a optional trophy to get in the game revolving around going to a location.
Okay.
And I didn't get it until the end of the game, and you know how the PlayStation is, it takes screenshots every single time you get a trophy, which I think is a great feature.
Yep.
When I got the last trophy for the Platinum, and subsequently the Platinum, it screenshotted the biggest spoilers possible for that game.
Of course it did. It's not just like the end credits. It's like, here's the thing. It's like, oh no.
Legitimately can't post a screenshot of it because it literally ruins the back half of that game. So
if you're friends with Moonpier, maybe don't look at his activity feed on your PS4.
Yes. And by now I'm sure that's gone way below on everybody's thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that game goes some places that I wasn't expecting it to go. The only thing with it now is playing that game made me watch the trailer for Into the Spider-Verse, and also the Bombcast talking about that trailer made me want to watch it, or the Beastcast. And I want to know when that thing's coming out so I can go see it in the theater.
Yep.
Because raggedy ass Peter Parker, like 24, who's down and out, is pretty amazing.
That's one of those movies where I look at it and I was like, all right, that makes me happy I have like a 4K HDR TV.
Yep, yeah. I 100% want to see that. But yeah, the Spider-Man game, I was putting it below God of War on my list. It was something we talked about on Game of the Year discussions, was the mechanically Spider-Man I feel is a better game than God of War, but God of War is an overall better game because it's mechanically strong, but it tells an amazing story. Spider-Man kind of made up that gap, and now I don't know which is better anymore.
Oh man, 2018 is just too good. That's the problem.
So yeah, Spider-Man. You remember the bit where I said play Assassin's Creed first?
Oh yeah.
Play Spider-Man first.
Oh no. Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye out for Black Friday sales, because like Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man, I pick up Iconoclasts. We also need to pick up, like, some of these games should be getting pretty cheap soon.
Let's go Pikachu/Eevee. You have a Switch. Go on.
I do. I'm sort of ignoring it because I don't know if I have the time to play both a Dragon Quest game and a Pokemon game at the same time. Oh, man. All right, but that's the games we've been playing this week, so let's take a break.
Yep. I totally forgot about Spider-Man. How could I forget about Spider-Man?
Yeah, I like sat in my chair and I was like, oh, I haven't been on Twitter all day. Let's see what's going on. Whoops, Moonpiercer platinumed it.
Yep.
So good.
Literally the second game installed on my... well, maybe not the second, but up there. Second game I played on my account or something, and it's like, yep, it's good enough to platinum it. God of War I can do it with, I just need the collectibles. But, yeah, it's a really, really good game.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey is still $60 on Amazon.
Come on, dude, of fucking course it is. I'll be right back, I'm just going to run the bathroom.
Okay. Hello, everyone in chat. How is everyone going? Let's look at our news stories while we hang out. These Samsung SSDs are cheaper than ever for Black Friday. Oh, no. I really want to stuff an SSD into my PS4. 1 terabyte is $128. Oh, that's so cheap. $300 for 2 terabyte, which I don't think would be good for a PS4, but yeah, that'd be great for a PC. Ride 3 shows how far Milestone has come and how far... Oh, Ride 3 is a game. Okay. This week in games. Review Mutant Football League Dynasty Edition. Who's reviewing this? Destructoid. This game looks so cool, and I feel like I need someone to Sherpa me through. Because I don't understand the Mutant League modern games, and I sure as shit don't understand football. So I feel like I need someone to help me. Oh, they reviewed it as 6. Okay. Okay, what else do we have? Ant-Man and Wasp. Fix PUBG overhaul wraps up, developers say. We more accurately feel what you, the players, want and need. Games developers will focus on stability and gameplay quality. Huh. Weird. Maybe you should focus on that. Okay. Left 4 Dead 2 speedrun shows off some neat strategies. Finished Dead Air in 7:53. Okay. I guess let's watch this a little bit. Just gonna put this full screen for a minute. The moon pier up here in the corner. I haven't thought about Left 4 Dead 2 in a real long time.
Didn't even realize it.
Is your reset button your mute button?
Maybe.
I really like when streamers have this control over here, where you show all the keys and stuff that they're hitting.
Appropriate direction.
Okay. I guess I forgot how slow Left 4 Dead 2 is until I just saw this. Some of the stuff is a little crazy so far. Like, oh, I'm going to look to the side while I'm climbing up a ladder. It's also a little weird that there seems to be no zombies so far. I wonder if that's because of how... Ooh, jeez. How fast they're moving.
Interesting.
I was slow enough that he could come out of his...
Dead Air Co-op. I wonder if his other teammates are just throwing themselves off right at the beginning. So if not, he'd just have to wait forever for them to catch up.
There's a tank in here.
Just avoid it, forehead.
Some really weird stuff happening here. Sorry for anyone listening to the Patreon feed, this probably isn't the most exciting. Oh, there's a charger. Oh, it's a tank, I'm sorry. Man, I love Left 4 Dead 2. It's one of those franchises where I feel like I'm not entirely sure if I want a third one or not. So, okay, so he died. Probably purposely.
Oh my god, what are you doing?
I'm assuming.
What are you watching clips of? Hold on, I don't have headphones in.
I'm watching a Left 4 Dead 2 Dead Air speedrun,
Okay.
which is apparently 7 minutes and 30 seconds.
For the whole game?
We have like what?
Just the whole campaign of Dead Air. It's pretty interesting. It's a lot of...
Give or take.
Oh, he just, like, Mario jumped off of a zombie's head to get over a barricade. I think he's gonna do it again. Boing.
That's pretty impressive.
That's dumb. I love it. Alright, let's switch over. Okay, what time is it? 4. Okay, I am ready to start whenever you are.
Mm-hmm. That was crazy.
Let's get a little slurp there, and we'll start.
Ah,
Just a quick slurp.
just a little one.
Yeah.
Okay, ready when you are.
Alright, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of November 19th, 2018. Warframe comes out on the Switch. Heaven help us.
Yep.
I'm not going to do it. I can't do it. I can't do that and Destiny at the same time. They're two time sinks.
You can join us on the Xbox.
No.
2 community members might be getting into it really soon.
Resist. I can't.
And I'm already there.
I can't do it.
And I know Musum has an account there too.
He does, yeah. I think Musum's on a bit of a hiatus right now anyway.
Mhm.
It's very hot and cold for him playing it.
Oh, it's me and Elite Dangerous.
Yeah. Battlefield 5 comes out PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Pre-release stuff of this sounds pretty positive so far.
Yep. 100% looking forward to playing it. I'm a bit disappointed because I will not be playing it this year. So it will not be eligible for my Game of the Year this year. Battlefield 1 was when that came out because that was amazing.
Yeah.
So if this can do the same thing, then great. And I'll play it when I play it.
Best old game this time next year.
Yeah.
Gungrave VR comes out for PS4. I'm assuming it's only on PSVR. I haven't quite found out yet, but it has VR on the title, so I feel like that's probably safe to assume.
Yeah.
It's crazy we're getting another Gungrave game, and it's crazy it's VR. I am deathly curious to see what this is. I don't know how it can be good, but I really hope it is. And last but not least, Nidhogg 2 comes out on the Switch.
Oh boy. So quiet week all in all.
Yeah. But, you know, Warframe and Nidhogg 2 coming on Switch is pretty good. I'm assuming Nidhogg you can probably use one Joy-Con for each person.
Oh, that's going to be a cluster.
Yeah, you can put that on the table and play like that. Alright, first news story here. Flat out, Sony is skipping E3 2019.
I'm not going to lie. This is a huge surprise.
Yeah. 2018 wasn't Sony's best showing.
It was not, but I think Daniel Dwyer quite rightly pointed out, if they're skipping the show entirely, are they giving up their booth, their space? Because there is a long waiting list to get on those booth spaces.
So it sounds like they're not going to the show in any fashion, and they're not doing PlayStation Experience, which is like the thing they did next door that normal average shows could go and play. So it sounds like they're not coming at all in any fashion.
So if that's the case, they're not coming to E3.
Yeah.
Have they given much reason why?
As the industry evolves, Sony Interactive Entertainment continues to look for inventive opportunities to blah blah blah. PlayStation fans mean the world to us, blah blah blah. We're exploring new and familiar ways to engage our community in 2018 and can't wait to share our plans with you, end quote.
Hashtag we don't got nothing.
But yeah, like to me, I sort of respect that. Like if you don't have anything, don't show up.
Yeah, Don't get me wrong. If you don't got nothing, say it. That's great.
Yep.
Don't turn around and say, yeah, we're only looking at 6 games this E3. Like that's
Yeah, because like, what are they going to show? They're going to show Ghost of Tsushima again. They're going to show the dumb zombie game again, Last of Us 2.
Dead whatever it's called.
For like the 3rd year, they're going to show that zombie biker game for the 15th year. You know, it's all going to be the same stuff, and unless they have God of War 2 coming out day and date of E3, there's no reason for them to show up.
This is the thing. But I'm fine. It's fine. If they want to make this decision, that's completely and utterly up to them.
Yeah.
My question is this Sony backing out on the ESRB? Or whatever it's called, the conglomeration of publishers and stuff.
The ESA? I think it is.
I think that might be what it is called. If this is them backing out on that, because Nintendo pretty much have already done it.
Yep.
Because Nintendo don't need people to lobby for laws for them in America because they don't break any laws, basically.
Right.
They're not progressive enough to break any laws.
That's true.
Loot boxes, we'll hear about them in 2062.
Right, on the Switch 2. Switch U.
Yep. So, if Sony backs out, that's going to be a huge deal for every other publisher who has been debating coming out or not. Or if this is not them backing out of the ESA, but just backing out of E3 because hashtag they don't got nothing. Who's taking up that floor space? And Danny O'Dwyer, I think, put it quite rightly in his tweet. He was like, well, gee, if Sony are giving up the booth space, which they're not going to be able to come back again. If they're backing out this year, they are done. They might get a press conference, but they are going to lose that booth space.
More than likely.
Like, go speak to anybody who's ever like had a booth at Comic-Con. Why do you think when Microsoft didn't have anything or Nintendo didn't have a booth, like a thing, they still have a booth out there, and it's literally just a look at this fun Super Mario level that we've based this booth around.
The currently available hit titles.
It's all like THQ Nordic have got the biggest space they could possibly have to come in and fill in a slot, and then just accidentally hit delete on the keyboard 6 times.
Right.
So, oh wait, THQ, delete. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Ubisoft and Bethesda probably take that space.
Like the whole booth space, you think they take it all?
Yeah, I think they split it between the rest. I think you sort of reshuffle the whole thing, and those two publishers get a little bit bigger, and Sony sort of disappears. Because I think...
Sorry, Joe Jennings in chat, you're going to have to read that one.
They're releasing the Vita 2 in 2019 to ensure its failure, no press conferences. You nailed it for Sony. But I think the thing is that I'm sort of surprised that they have such a lack of stuff to show after E3 2018 being so quiet. It seems like, you know, you have one down year and then you announce a bunch of stuff the next year, and that's the way the cycle sort of goes, is this up and down roller coaster. But for them to have a year that is more quiet than 2018's is worrisome.
It's to me, it's not so much that, it's they have been they've been showing the games that they showed this year at E3 for at least 2 years now, roughly. Maybe Ghost of Tsushima, maybe last year or whatever, but Microsoft have done issues with their press conferences in the past, showing things too early, showing things not soon enough, you know, showing things that would ended up not even coming out at all.
Right.
And at least obviously I'm a Microsoft fanboy, so you can't trust my opinion on this, but at least they're always trying to show something.
Yeah.
Like, they showed the Dragon headphone game way before it was even an actual game, because they wanted to be able to say, this is stuff we're working on. It's a bit like Bethesda saying, here's 2 games coming out in 2022 and 2030, whatever, respectively.
Right.
Here's a couple of logo treatments, but get excited because this is what's in the future.
Right.
This tells me Sony doesn't have a plan for the future.
Well, and part of it that's really disappointing to me is I feel like Sony from 4 or 5 years ago instead would have shown sandwiched at the end, you know, their big games, Ghost of Tsushima, and then maybe a trailer for something new, like a new Ratchet and Clank or something. But in the middle, they would have spent an hour on indie games instead. Instead, like, man, the best place, yeah, like the best place to play indie games is the PS4. Here's our exclusives, or like time exclusive. Best place to play the third-party games. Here are all the ones that have stuff that can only be found on. Like, here's the next Assassin's Creed exclusive stuff only on PS4. That's what the Sony of yesteryear would have done. But for them to say like, nah, man, we're good. You know, like if someone says, hey, you want to come out to the bar with us tonight? And they're like, eh, man, I'm tired. So Sony's just saying like, nah, man, I'm tired. I'm tired of working on the PS5. I'm just gonna take a nap.
Yeah, I mean, even when Microsoft had slim pickings for their first-party stuff, they always showcased third-party stuff at their show. Might have been the wrong things to show, whatever, but they were always showcasing something and giving games a stage to shine on.
One of their biggest games of this last year was Cyberpunk 2077. That's not even their game.
That was the showstopper for them at the end of the thing, and partially I think that's because The Witch has done so well on Xbox One.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wouldn't know anything about the weird Fox Zelda game with the cute design if it wasn't for that thing being shown at 2 consecutive E3s by Microsoft.
Yep.
Like, have Sony honestly burnt the bridges to the third parties and the indies this much, where the indies are all about the Switch now? And the third parties, like, why aren't they reaching out to other people? Why aren't they reaching out to Ubisoft? What is Death Stranding going to be?
Who knows at this point? But I feel like when you talk about indies, I don't necessarily think that Sony has burnt the bridge. I just think that the attach rate for indies on the huge customer base of the Switch means if you're an indie developer and publisher, you have to be on the Switch.
Oh, I don't disagree with that at all. I do feel like it has shifted from Steam to PlayStation 4.
Yep.
To the Switch, and rightly so. It has done that transition quite nicely. Like, back to Death Stranding really quick. Kojima is an E3 show-off.
Yep, you show a 10-minute trailer that makes no sense.
This is what Kojima does best. He creates mass confusion and mass hype around his games based on trailers. Folks, go back and look at Metal Gear Solid 2, the trailer for that, and how much literal BS is in that when you have Snake in the oil platform and Snake doing all of that stuff. That's the biggest swerve in video game history, is how much BS is in that. This is Kojima. He did a trailer for a game where the big whale company or whatever it was, where he pretended it wasn't even his studio.
Moby Dick Studio.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? And if I'm right, I'm pretty sure Death Stranding has some form of exclusivity on the PlayStation right now.
You know, I actually don't know. I don't even know what platforms it's coming out on. I was going to assume PS4 and Xbox One.
It's coming out on PlayStation 5 and Xbox 2, or whatever it's called. We all know that at this point. But what people, certain companies and certain names in the industry need those showcases, because without those showcases, they are nothing. Kojima is a genuine genius. He is a master of video gameplay systems and stuff like that. He wouldn't be who he is if he wasn't so good at trailers and pulling the wool over everybody's eyes.
Yeah, and I think on the other side of the spectrum, as you see Nintendo pulling back their presence at E3, especially from the press conference standpoint, that makes sense because they have their monthly Nintendo Direct. So they have a more effective and more efficient way of promoting their stuff. The PS4 has the PlayStation Store? Like, they don't have the same presence that Nintendo does. So I don't know, as someone who's a big fan of the PS4, this is concerning in a really weird, unexpected way.
For me, it's slightly concerning. It's also very interesting. Are Sony going to be the, for lack of a better way to put it, the one of the big three, which is Microsoft, Sony, and Ubisoft still in that range? Are they going to be one of the big 3 or 4 to pull out completely? Like, I'm interested. I'm concerned. The biggest thing for me is, like you said, what's their presence like? Because how many years now has This Week in Xbox been going out? Does Sony have an equivalent? Does Sony have
Not really.
a community face to their brand the way Microsoft does?
They have like a weekly blog post, but it's not nearly as engaging. They don't have a face like Major Nelson is. They don't have a face like Reggie Fils-Aimé is.
They don't have a Larry Herb / Major Nelson. You know, they don't have any.
Like, they don't have a person.
And that's concerning. At least, like, if Microsoft did this and said, "Look, we're going to back away from E3, we're going to back away from the ESA, but we're canceling This Week on Xbox, and instead every month you'll have a 2-hour long or an hour and a half long show where Larry goes and visits all the studios, the first party,
or we
third
do
party.
a live stream of upcoming games or something like that." Yeah.
If you would know immediately where to go to because that's Larry Herb, Xbox Major Nelson.
Yeah.
There's a face to put to that.
Right.
Sony doesn't have that.
No.
I can tell you how they're gonna fix it though. They're gonna make you download an app so you can live stream all of their stuff to. This will be the new Sony app, and then you
Their
can
own
have
live
6
streaming
Sony
service.
apps.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the other half of the console spectrum. Microsoft, there's some rumors this week that they will release a disc-less variant of the Xbox One. This is coming from a long time. I cannot stress how long this guy's been writing about Microsoft. Paul Thurrott. He's been writing for around 20 years about Microsoft overall as a company. Rumored that it'll be a $200 console, so cutting $100 off of the retail price of the S.
If I'm right as well, this is supposedly a replacement for the S.
Yes, it'll be. It's sort of like
This is
the
the
arcade
PS1
bundle for the 360. It's sort of one sells out and the other one sort of starts coming in.
Well, you take a disk drive out.
Yeah,
your form factor is immediately shrunk.
Yeah, probably not by a ton because it's a slot loading one, but I think you can probably squish it down at least another couple percent. Make it a little bit lighter, make the cooling a little better probably because you don't have that big thing in the way. The one interesting thing is obviously the big push point on this would be Game Pass, but the other rumor is that Microsoft would be offering a disc-to-digital trade deal with participating retailers. No idea who that would be. But basically, you bring your disc in, you hand it over to them, they give you a download code, bing, bang, boom, you're all done.
Honestly, Amazon. That's the only thing that...
I think they're talking brick and mortar. Microsoft stores, probably some GameStops, Best Buy, Target, probably some of them. They probably have a kiosk where it munches a bunch of discs and all that stuff's good. But this is
get on the phone with Bezos.
Yeah, sort it out. I feel like this is a rumor that feels like has weight behind it because this is an inevitability. I think you still have potentially the X being your premier console. It has all the bells and whistles. It's the fastest one. It has the disk drive. It has all this stuff in it.
It's not even a question anymore. When they talk about the Xbox, they don't talk about the Xbox anymore. They are talking about the X.
Yeah.
Anytime,
and also the S is available.
Yeah. Anytime you hear them talking about the Xbox, they're always referencing the X. Yeah. Look how great Red Dead Redemption is to play on the Xbox.
Right. Buy the Red Dead Xbox X bundle, which is a thing that Sony doesn't do. They're going to have a $200 bundle for Spider-Man coming out Black Friday, but it has a PS4 Slim. You don't want it on there. You want it on the Pro. To me, this is a no-brainer, and to have something without the disc drive in it, especially with Game Pass being so huge, I mean, just a stupid, crazy value, and with them talking about their Project X Cloud,
whatever it's called,
whatever that one is, they're obviously going to be pushing towards this model because they stop making discs and they stop having to support this stuff. One of the biggest support pain points is having a disk drive, is having a movable piece on the console. So,
I mean, SKUs aren't a bad thing.
no,
Iterations are a bad thing. So, like the PS4 Pro to the PS4, the Xbox One X to the S to the Xbox original, like I think iterating like that is a problem. I think SKUs are not a problem. If you want to put out 4 different variations of the Xbox and have one be the X, one be the S, and one be digital only, so it's just these boxes like with a hard drive space that you download to, and one is just literally a streaming box, which is essentially an Ethernet cable that you plug up to HDMI,
right.
and have it be this one's $20, this one's $100, this one's $200, and this one is $300. That is a good thing, because it lets everybody get in at some level, and not even to mention the fact that they offer the whole financing thing, which
Sure.
is
I
an,
keep forgetting about that.
an incredible deal.
My counterpoint to that, though, is I hope they learned from the 360, because the 360, when they had multiple SKUs, was such a huge problem, because people would go in, they'd buy the cheapest copy, they'd buy the cheapest console, buy a whole bunch of games, and figure out, oh, this thing doesn't have onboard memory, like an onboard hard drive, so I have to go back and I have to buy. Like, my worst case scenario is someone goes out and they buy the streaming box, they buy a whole bunch of games on disc. Nobody tells them any better, because who cares? And they get home and there's nowhere to put the discs. There's no there's no Xbox there. So it's obviously such a massively different company from the company that was there during the 360 that I feel like they figured out the messaging between the S and the X, even though the names are too similar. Microsoft, stop it. I really hope if they go that route, which wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, they would get the messaging right this time.
I hope they do, but the biggest problem you're going to run into with that is, at the end of the day, it's the Floor Biscuit's responsibility to make sure that their customers are well informed.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, if you're an employee at GameStop, Best Buy, whatever, and someone is buying products from you, it's your job as a customer service representation to make sure that those customers are making the best decisions in your opinion.
Right.
And
they can't buy a streaming console and a bunch of discs. Like,
no. That should be a red flag straight away for you, is you don't want the discs, you want these cards that have either download
you want the Fortnite
codes
card, not the Fortnite disc.
Yeah, exactly. And it's up to the Floor Biscuits to get on that. Unfortunately, no culpability in this world, so the Floor Biscuits are not going to take responsibility, and GameSpot's not going to take responsibility, so it's all going to go back to, I have a problem with this, what name is on the box?
Right,
That's
call
all it's
Microsoft.
going to come down to. Yep.
Yeah. Last news story here. THQ Nordic acquires 2 new studios and has announced how many games they have in development. So they
56.
They purchased Bugbear Entertainment, who made Flat Out and Wreckfest, their new like Flat Out sort of game, and then they bought Coffee Stain, who makes Goat Simulator.
Yep.
This purchase includes all intellectual property rights for both studios, most importantly. They also announced...
Wait. Wreckfest, as in is that the hashtag next car game? Where it was totally insanity about destructible environments and vehicles and stuff?
That one, yep.
So they own all IPs and intellectual property by both studios?
Yep.
So we might be looking at the next Red Faction engine?
Man, if only. That'd be great.
I'm just saying, they bought a studio that has an engine for their stuff.
Yep. And lastly, they announced how many games they have they're working on right now. Unannounced. They're working on 35 unannounced games.
So, 10 mobile games, approximately.
Sure, maybe. I don't know how many mobile studios they own, actually. Probably 10 at this point. Who knows? They own almost half of the industry.
So
they're looking at Ubisoft, licking their chops.
The eye in the wall. Oh, you're not worried about me.
Saying, no, not again.
Please stop THQ from coming and buying our studios. Thank you.
Just play Just Dance.
Okay, so let's do me and you, let's have a little fun game right here.
Okay.
Okay, so 35 unannounced games.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a whole bunch of them off the table, and let's say 30 of them are mobile games.
Okay.
5 games from THQ Nordic. Let's just say THQ.
Yeah.
That you would like to see.
I Darksiders 4. I know Darksiders 3 is coming out next week, but like I want that.
You want the co-op?
Not even the co-op at this point. That might be Darksiders 5. Wink. I want them to keep going because I feel like they're building better games. Not having played Darksiders 3, I feel like they're building better games as they go on. I want them to stick with a franchise that's doing cool stuff. Not necessarily original, but they're doing some cool stuff.
Okay, so Darksiders, I will agree with that. That is also one of my 5. Oof. Red Faction.
Yeah, I feel like them remastering.
Thank you.
That game. That probably lends a lot of credence to that.
And I'll be honest, the reason why that's why the Wreckfest team makes sense to me.
Yes.
Because if they have that engine with that destructibility and they can get the funding of a big studio like THQ, I'm not even going to say Nordic anymore for the record, folks.
Yeah.
So if they can get THQ's funding behind that engine and that team, imagine the Red Faction we could have.
Right.
Crackdown 3, you place yourself to one side. Thank you very much. Red Faction 4 is here.
Right.
Even though it would be 3.
I think that... God, what game was I just thinking of? I was trying to look up what studios they own at this point. It's just another sequel. Oh, Time Splitters.
That's a really good shout. I didn't think of that.
I feel like that's one of those ones that enough people are old enough and it's been long enough that that another Time Splitters could come out and be different enough that it could work.
Yeah, I mean, the game
sticking.
Yeah, that game was irreverent at the time it came out. Like, that was like super insider jokes for super nerds who like to play super first-person shoot-'em-ups. Like,
Yep.
That game was insane at the time it came out. Like, I think that would probably land a lot better today because Time Splitters is one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time.
Yeah.
Like, that game is insanely good.
Boy, they bought a bunch of developers that made Gianna Sisters. That's interesting.
Honestly, well, we already know they're working on a new Metro game. So what was that one you just said?
Time Splitters?
Time Splitters, okay.
Gianna Sisters.
So yeah, for me it's Red Faction, the first game you said, which I've already forgotten. I'm so tired. Red Faction, Time Splitters, Saints Row. They've got to be working on a mainline Saints Row game. Like that goes without saying. What was the first game you said? I can't remember now.
Darksiders.
Yeah, Darksiders. So, I mean, I don't know.
So here's another one. This is interesting. All right, remember Deep Silver, the Dead Island company?
Yes.
They were purchased by Koch Media a couple years ago.
They went on to make. If I'm right, they were they purchased or something, and I don't know.
So Koch Media earlier this year was purchased by THQ. So maybe Koch Media and Deep Silver can come out with something because they're still working on the second Dead Island game that hasn't come out and has barely surfaced at all.
Yeah, and kind of half of them developers moved over to the Dying Light studio because that's the guys who made the original.
The only other game I could think of is Homefront because now THQ owns Homefront. You put enough time and enough money behind a Homefront game, you could make something really good.
Yeah, but they've also got Kingdoms of Amalur now as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, but I feel like that might be like a 10-year game. Like I feel like you don't want to just make one of those. I feel like you want to write the story and an engine and all that stuff to make 3 of them over the next 10 years and sort of chain them back to back. I feel like that might be for the next gen of consoles.
Yeah, I tell you what I'd like to see. My last game that I will name dropping my please make this one of the 35. Alone in the Dark.
Yeah.
Apparently they bought the Alone in the Dark from Atari in September this year.
Wow. Okay.
So
I
they
missed
got
that
Alone
one.
in the Dark, an Act of War from Atari SA, whoever
I
that
bet a
is.
new Alone in the Dark could do pretty well.
In a world of VR,
Yeah. There you
Alone
go.
in the Dark is asking to get remade. When
Yeah.
Resident Evil 7 can make a first-person game and make it genuinely incredible, both in regular and VR,
That's a good
Alone in the
point.
Dark is kind of screaming for it too.
Yeah.
Now they just need to buy Konami and get Silent Hill and Castlevania and everything else.
Yeah, buy Konami and actually make video games.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someday.
Remember when everyone was talking about how like the Starbucks Galaxy and the Disney Nebula?
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll be looking at Planet THQ soon enough.
The
This is
THQ
like-
Moon.
Yeah, this has been one of those sneaky little things that people don't realize just how big these people are until
We bought the moon.
Yeah.
We bought Saturn. Man. All right, that's all of our news stories. And Moon and I are both really tired. We're going to skip questions this week because I want to go lay down, basically. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Don't forget, patreon.com/E1M1. The ones are numbers. That's the place to find all of our cool behind-the-scenes stuff, exclusive shows, early access shows. There's an upcoming Old Dog New Flicks that we talked about at the beginning. Patreon.com/E1M1. The new Game Club game is Iconoclasts, PC, PS4, Switch. Unfortunately, not an Xbox One release that we could find. Probably will happen, the day after we record the the recap episode, as it usually goes. And I think that's it. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next week.
Bye.
I'm so hungry.
Kind of
Fasting tomorrow is gonna be so hard.
Oh yes, it is.
Okay.
Like, I'm sorry, but I'm just looking at this Nordic. Like now that I have my second screen, I'm looking at the Nordic games history, and it just screams of Eastern European thug money getting laundered through buying video game companies.
Yup. Ding, ding, ding.
That's a little scary.
A little bit, yeah.
Well, hey, the guy did a quote saying about how he doesn't intend to spend $50 million on a game. You can do it for less than that. So good on him.
Yeah. All right, hit me with your titles.
Game Passness.
Yeah, yes.
Sticking XP bars where they don't belong. Loop, 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 loop.
Yep.
How much did you pay for it? I don't gamble in real life. The fun-sized forge. JRPG swerve. Dead whatever that game is.
JRPG Swerve. And the fun-sized forge. I have Get Ready for Your Rank to Tank.
That's... Yep.
A little long, but I like it. 3 weeks to go. I don't even remember what that is referencing.
Game of the year, dude. How
Oh,
can
God.
how can you not say 3 weeks to go and then immediately no?
I'm trying not to think about it. Dumb and Not Amazing.
That's
What
kinda
if it was Time for Time? My favorite, which is Game Passness.
good. Yeah.
And
That's pretty
JRPG
good.
Swerve. I like Game Passness.
Yeah. Game Passness is
I'm going to circle that one.
pretty good.
2 thumbs up. All right. Starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 578 for November 19th, 2018. Game Passness.
You're losing money by not buying it.
That's right. Losing money by not passing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching us live. We're tired. We're going to go. Bye.